Late breaking news here. This just in right before the show. The new environmental impact study from the State Department on the Keystone Pipeline is in. Now, that doesn't sound like it'd be a dramatic story, right? Like, oh, environmental impact study in. Ooh, right? No, this one is very important because this is the key finding that will lead to whether President Obama approves the Keystone Pipeline or not. They claim there are other factors, and the State Department hasn't made a final ruling, let alone President Obama making a final ruling. But if the environmental impact study says there is not much impact, it is very likely that they will approve the northern part of the Keystone Pipeline. And what do we have now? What happened? Where'd it go? Approved. They said, in fact, let me quote it for you. Approval or denial of any one crude oil transport project, including the proposed project, remains unlikely to significantly impact the rate of extraction in the oil sands or continued demand for heavy crude oil at refineries in the United States. Meaning it will not have a large environmental impact, which is hilarious. And environmental activists will be pissed.
Yeah. We should really clip that out now so that the first time the pipeline bursts and floods some farmland in northern United States, we can play that back for them.
Right. I mean,
no
that's
environmental impact, except for all the oil on your sheep.
Now, that's one part of it. The other part of it is, what the people who are really worried about climate change are saying is these are tar sands. This is the heaviest, dirtiest form of
carbon content.
Of carbon content. So when that flows, that only adds to the amount of the carbon that we're extracting and the climate change severity, et cetera, et cetera. So to say that that has no impact seems counterfactual, but there it is. Now, was it the good scientists at the Department of Energy that did this? And that's the really important part here. No, it was a private contractor. Okay.
Who did the study?
Who did the study. Now, wait. Hold for it. The contractor is Environmental Resources Management. It's under a State Department Inspector General investigation now, because the consultants working on this impact study have in the past worked with TransCanada, which runs the Keystone Pipeline, and its subsidiaries, and other oil companies related to the pipeline.
Well, then wouldn't they know the most about it?
Yeah, of course.
That's right. No conflict of interest at all. Yeah. They would know a lot about it, including all the money they're going to make from it.
They still get paid from TransCanada. That's how closely they're connected to the information.
You got to leave the oil business up to the people who know the oil business. You know what I mean? And
as we know, and it's another story from today, the energy folks are really mad at Obama, and they're saying, "Oh my God, well, we're going to get him. We're going to do a coalition, and et cetera, et cetera."
He's in their
kidding
pocket.
Me? And guys, we did the story a little while ago about how the southern leg of the Keystone Pipeline had opened, and environmentalists were pissed, and there's scathing quotes about Obama. But we already knew that it was approved. It just got opened the other day, right? And I was wondering why the quotes were so scathing. I said, I wonder if they know something about that environmental impact study that's going to come out that we don't know. And about a week later, it comes out, and it turns out it went against us, and they're likely to approve the northern half of the Keystone.
One of the fallback defenses of the arguments in favor of the pipeline is that, well, if we don't do it, they're just going to do it and go right through to the Pacific. Well, no, they're not. Turns out they're not, because they'd have to go over the Rocky Mountains, turns out. I did a little research, and turns out, so they are not going to do that. It's way more costly. That's exactly why they're doing it this way, and so they just probably won't even do it. Yeah. So.
And also, it's great that Obama, in his State of the Union speech, stood up and said, we need to move to a cleaner, energy economy. Jesus. Well, stop saying that if you then are just going to say, but in the meantime, we're going to rely even more heavily on fossil fuels.
No, but that's exactly the point, John.
Yes.
Which is that President Obama says, I'm giving you clean energy, historic clean energy. And then he approves dirty energy. Now, look, he did do some positive things in regards to coal, and that's why the energy guys are so pissed, right? But it's classic Obama. The energy guys hate him anyway.
Yeah.
The environmentalists now hate him, and he thinks mission accomplished, right? I split the baby. You got one half of the baby, the other half of the baby. We're all set to go. Yeah. No, but you actually, in reality, didn't do much about climate change, and you pissed off the other guys anyway. They never liked you. They were never going to like you. You didn't get their support. You're not going to get their the voters who vote that way. You're not going to get any of that. Besides which, what do you care anymore? You're not going to run for office anymore.
Yeah.
If you were, and this is a big if you were a progressive, wouldn't this be the time to be a progressive, right, in your second term? But that's the thing. That's what I've been saying for a long time.
So
he's not really a progressive.
No. Is it no? So what he's doing now is he's trying to make sure that the midterm elections don't go sour and he loses the Senate, right? So now,
In
do you
his
think that
silly
he
mind.
thinks that approving the pipeline is going to help him retain the Senate, or would it? I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't think that it could, and I think that at the end of the day, the joke is really on all the conservatives who've been swayed by the lies they've heard on Fox about, we have to produce more oil. If we build this pipeline, then, we've got more oil, it'll bring down the price, except it's not. They're going to ship it right past your house to the ocean and then ship it to the global market, and the price will drop by a penny, maybe, if they feel like it.
Yes, so that's the reason why you need a pipeline isn't to bring it here, it's to send it somewhere else. You want them to burn it. So
the southern half only sends it out of the country.
Yeah.
So that's absolutely true. And by the way, not only is it really hard to get past the Rockies, but there's a lot of native Canadian
that's
land,
it.
and they absolutely say no.
No,
because they're actual progressives.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, by the way, payback's a bitch. Okay, so I know we got slaughtered and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I know you'd like to make a lot of money off of your pipeline. The answer is no. We had an environmental impact study over here, and it turns out we decided we don't like the environmental impact, so no. So when they say, don't worry, it would happen either way, it's not necessarily true at all.
Yes. So there's the natives in Canada that are opposing it, but you would think they'd be able to buy them off, right?
Yeah.
You'd think. But I was also reading that there's already thousands and thousands of pipelines, of miles of pipelines underneath the earth in the United States right now, under land that carry, and they break all the time. It turns out.
Well, the
they
southern
break all
leg,
the
they
time.
already had to fix, I think it was 152 different sags, leaks, and bends, and things like that. People living along the pipeline say that they have to go and find the lags, leaks, and bends to tell the company to fix them because the company isn't actually patrolling it. Well, now you've got a pipeline that's 5, 6, maybe even more times longer. Like, it is going to be a disaster, and when it is a disaster, when it pours oil all over, I don't know which state it's going to be, one of the states in North America.
I'm calling Nebraska.
Nebraska, perhaps. Like, none of the conservatives are going to come out and say, shit, that is a mess. You know what? We were wrong. No more pipelines. Maybe solar. Let's go for solar. Maybe wind. No, they win either way.
At that point, they'll first of all say, it's not time to talk about a tragedy like this. Okay?
Yes.
We don't want to politicize this tragedy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, go buy guns.
Yeah. Okay. And then second of all, they'll say, you see, the problem is over-regulation. The government, in their regulation of the pipelines, will fill in the rest of the paragraph. Who cares? And it's the government's fault.
You missed the last section of that. It is no one could have been able to foreseen such a tragedy because we had a group come out, look into it, and assess that there's going to be no environmental damage and this is going to be done correctly. There's no way we could have known at the time. Let's just clean it up now.
You're right. That's actually part 3, but you're missing part 4. When they turn around, they go, it was the Obama administration that approved this pipeline.
Oh, totally.
We had nothing to do with it. Goddamn Obama. Can you believe that?